Before we start, please check out our new podcast, Good Sleep. Have you ever noticed how a calm mind can really set the stage for a good night's sleep? That's the idea behind our new podcast, Good Sleep. Greg, our host from Optimal Relationships Daily, is here to help ease you into a peaceful night's rest with some positive affirmations. And these affirmations aren't just comforting, they can help ease anxiety and nurture positive thoughts, setting you up for true good sleep. So press play on Good Sleep tonight because a good tomorrow starts with a good night's sleep. Just search for Good Sleep in your podcast app and be sure to pick the one from Optimal Living Daily. This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 2935, How to Live a Life with No Regrets, by Hilary Barnett with NoSidebar.com. And I'm Justin Malik. Happy Friday. This is the award-winning podcast where I read blogs to you, hopefully adding a little bit of inspiration, motivation, or happiness to your day. This is all with permission from the website owners, by the way. I'm going to keep this intro nice and short, so let's get right to it as we optimize your life. How to Live a Life with No Regrets, by Hilary Barnett with NoSidebar.com. What really matters? This question can seem really complicated when you're immersed in the day-to-day responsibilities of life. But when you're faced with the reality of the end of life, things can become quite clear. In her article, and subsequently in her book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, palliative care nurse Bronnie Ware reveals the things that were at the forefront of her patients' minds as they were preparing for their last moments on Earth. What her patients told her can help us get a better picture of how we should be living our lives now. So what do we make of our lives, of this present moment? And what decisions do we make to focus on what truly matters? Here are the top 5 regrets that her patients mentioned with some thoughts on what we can do right now to ensure that these are regrets that we do not share when we come to that point in our lives. Number 1, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not what others expect of me. Ouch, this one stings a little, doesn't it? So often we get caught up in pleasing everyone around us and we forget what makes us feel truly alive. It takes simplifying our lives to see what we really want to be. It's difficult to see through the clutter, but once you get there, you must take that first brave step and be true to who you are. Number 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. We strive, we climb, we burn the candle at both ends, and being productive and recognized gives us a sense of worth, but in the end, it's our relationships with those we love that matter most. How can you simplify your schedule to make time for the most important people in your life? So often, it's in the most mundane and unproductive moments that we make the most precious memories. Number 3, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. When we're bogged down with life, our emotions are the first things we neglect. We don't pay attention to what they are telling us, and we're reluctant to express them to others for fear of rejection or shame. Quieting our minds and our environments can create space for our emotions to truly surface, giving us an opportunity to understand them and express them in ways that are helpful and healing. Number 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. It can be so easy to unwittingly neglect the relationships in our lives at the sake of our busyness. Reaching out to friends takes an extra effort, one that may seem like just one more thing on the to-do list in a day filled with responsibilities. But when we make this a priority, it has the opposite effect. It fills us up instead of draining us. Who are those people that you truly care about, that you haven't spoken to in some time? Make an effort to reach out beyond their most recent Facebook update. See how they're doing and spend some time in conversation if you can. And number 5, I wish I had let myself be happier. One of the most difficult things to learn is that happiness is a choice. Circumstances are very rarely going to be perfect enough to allow us to be happy at all times, but we can choose joy in the moment and be grateful for the beautiful and meaningful things in our lives. So often we can get caught up in the seriousness of life and forget how much happiness can come from simply letting loose and being silly once in a while. Our inner child wants to be heard. We just have to listen and be comfortable enough to let our guard down. Simplifying your life is about focusing on what really matters. When you choose what is important to you and focus on it, you gain a sense of clarity and trust that allows you to live with less regrets. How can you begin today to simplify? It doesn't have to be a major undertaking. It can be one small act. It can be a moment of quiet where you slow down long enough to hear what your heart is telling you. It could be a choice to make more time today for someone you love. It could be a decision to remove something from your life that is no longer bringing you joy. It could be one word, a yes or a no. I hope you're encouraged to live life to the fullest. We all have a finite amount of time, but what we do with it is the most powerful choice we will ever make. You just listened to the post titled, How to Live a Life with No Regrets by Hilary Barnett with NoSidebar.com. Thank you to Hilary. This is a favorite topic of mine that I come back to often because it's really important. The purpose of these podcasts is to help us, but the format is done in a special way, trying to find authors who have been through something that we can learn from and benefit from, so we don't suffer the same way that they have. That's why there's a bunch of different authors and perspectives. When we're kids, we don't want to listen to advice from our parents or elders. We think we know what's right and want to choose for ourselves. As we get older and possibly become parents ourselves, we realize that the advice we were given as a child or teenager or young adult, even adult, was coming from a place of care. The parent or elder, whoever really, just doesn't want us to suffer the same fate that they did. We know this, yet still struggle to take good advice like this. Again, especially as children. And by the way, we touched on this topic earlier this week in episode 2932. But hopefully by listening to these articles, we can remember this and truly digest what these authors are saying, especially in today's case, where an author of a book spent a ton of time interviewing the dying. That's such an important perspective, one that we can all learn from. So I hope you're able to take it to heart and consider these regrets. But that'll do it for today. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for being here with me every day and for telling others about this show. That's the greatest thing you can do to help out. It means a lot. So thank you again, and I'll be back tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.